Hello, podcast universe. Welcome to EMC3, where Elizabeth, Matt, and Chris spill the tea on everything metaphysical, astrological, and human. Using our ability to channel, we forecast a discussion that your soul has been searching for. So buckle in, you're here for the ride.
Hey everyone, welcome to EMC3 Chat, where we serve, sip, and spill all of the spiritual tea. My name is Matthew Baniak with Stillwater Alchemy, and I'm joined by two of the dreamiest Geminis I know. Elizabeth Robinson from the Gemini Guide, who is a psychotherapist, soul tarot reader, and certified yoga teacher. And also Chris Corsini, who is a Reiki plus energy worker, tarot reader, ASL interpreter, and goes and performs under the name Middle Child. Hey guys, what's going on today?
Loving life.
Just getting ready for a big Mercury retrograde amongst a million other retrogrades. So I'm excited. What tea are you drinking today?
I am drinking a green mint combo tea, activating my heart chakra, making sure that we're all good to manifest our best lives amongst the retrograde seasons. How about you, Elizabeth?
I'm still sticking with the echinacea. Immune system fighting, keeping my body healthy.
Love that. I, of course, have, oh my God, what is it? Lotus flower? No. What is it? I can't even remember.
Elderflower. No, I can't remember.
I'll let you know later. It's
Guys,
totally
retrograde. Like, is this not like we can't remember? Like,
We don't even have words.
Also, right before this episode, Matthew's entire power at his house went out. Our first meeting this morning, neither of my laptop and my computer would connect to Zoom, and there was nothing that we could do about it. I had to connect over FaceTime to Elizabeth's phone. So, like, shit is already falling apart. We're recording this first week in June. So it's like, buckle up, folks. We are going to... I'm already talking, so I'll talk about the Six of Swords and the Six of Cups, both reversed, which would, to me, indicate people coming back around. So, Mercury retrograde, no sex with the ex is my rule. Hashtag. Also, swords and cups representing thoughts, words, and emotions, dreams, etc. I feel... probably reviewing a lot of our dreams, old emotions coming back around, old ideas coming back around, maybe hearing new things or the things you once said coming back to bite you in the ass. You know what I mean? So lots going on with that. Yeah, I'll talk about my other cards after. What did you guys get?
I got King of Cups reverse and then King of Wands upright. And it's like, if he doesn't, or they, your partner, give you the space that you are entitled to have in the relationship, then he ain't worth it. Like, he ain't worth it. He has to, like, this is all about how you can communicate effectively and to feel worthy and to, like, stand your ground and know your worth. And with King of Cups reverse, that's telling me, like, people that you're involved in your life right now are not really listening to you and giving you the space that you need to be the vibrant person you are.
I also feel, just looking at that imagery, is like the King of Wands standing upright with his big, like, staff, just being like, no. And the King of Cups just being like, I'll come back later with this offer. It's kind of like, you need to, like, put your foot down with whatever offers. It's also like, maybe don't make any major offers. Don't major offers. Like, it's just kind of, we don't have the spoons for it right now. So let's just put our foot down and say, hell no, you know? Would you get that?
Yeah. Knight of Swords, and then we have Two of Pentacles, and then Wheel of Fortune. So I know a lot of people, they're often waiting on contracts or gigs or things to come through in Mercury retrograde, and we'll cycle back to this after and talk about Mercury in general and what Mercury retrograde entails, but it's never the best time to engage in new relationships, new contracts, because there's things that, like, might not necessarily be available to you, or it's like not all the information is present for you to make the right decision. It's just, you always want to make sure, especially since we already have all of these eclipses currently going. By the time Mercury gets retrograde, there's 4 other planets, and then Neptune goes retrograde like 4 days later. So it's a lot. So just maybe hold off. You might have this Knight of Swords energy, like, go, 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 go. I want this right now. because maybe you're thinking about money that you're wanting, but the universe is like, I got you. You can chill the fuck out for a hot second and let me work my magic so that you don't feel like you need to control this all on your own.
Yeah, I find too with the Knight of Swords that there is that energy of, like you just said, impulsivity. And the Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the deck. And because of that, they can be not as cautious as they should be. They can sort of jump before they even understand where they're landing. So it's funny that I pulled the Knight of Pentacles reverse, which to me is the slowest moving knight in the deck. And I always tell my Knight of Pentacles to Elizabeth, oh my gosh, that is hilarious. And I also pulled up the Wheel of Fortune that Matthew has. But I find, so the Knight of Swords energy is here, which again is that air, is mercurial energy, because that's the ruler of Gemini. So you can almost feel all of those thoughts and those impulsive ideas and communications, and we want to do it. But then with this Knight of Pentacles reversed, it's like, don't even move slowly, just don't move at all. It's like, just literally slow down to the point that we are like stopping and investing into ourselves. Turn that investment inward as opposed to externally investing in things or externally planning things, because the Knight of Pentacles upright is like, look at this great seed. I'm going to plant it in this field in the background and everything's going to work out. And when it's reversed, it's like, where's my seed at? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's like, just chill right now. I don't think that that's the best time to deal with the Knight of Swords energy.
Yeah, and like feeding off that, since I also got the Knight of Pentacles, and then I also accompanying that have the Three of Cups, and I think it's like really investing in communication with the other side, like meaning your spirit guides, your higher self, your well ancestors, deities, God, Allah, whoever you call it, like have a more steady relationship with them. Like, now's the time with Mercury in retrograde to really tune into, is this my intuition or is this my anxiety? Where am I getting this information from, and where am I connecting my life path with the people that I want to celebrate it with? And like Three of Cups is obviously classically known as community and things like that, but I think it's more than just physical community, like the three of us showing up together and having a conversation. It's conversation with your higher self, conversation with the other side, and understanding that they're here supporting you. It's a very encouraging, like, it's okay, things are like shit hitting the fan, but you'll be okay, like if you just have a confident relationship.
With that Knight of Pentacles too, and mine being reversed while yours is upright, there's this huge awareness that needs to come to the forefront that's like, don't impulsively act. And again, like that Knight of Swords, don't remain ungrounded. Like, my knight being reversed is like, to me, it looks like he is not grounded. And you having your knight upright, to me, is like, get grounded, especially with the Three of Cups energy around you, when you may find that there's a lot of action taking place. There's a lot of people reaching out, or a lot of opportunity for you to me, I see the Three of Cups also, and I see that as like a little bit of a party card, a little bit of a, like, it's easy now, and we'll get into this with the whole Neptune thing. It's just like, we don't want to be slipping into, you know, overindulgence of booze, drugs, sex, escapism. And with the Three of Cups there, it's easy to be like, oh, I really need to look at this, but I could go grab a drink. And it's like, no, I think you should just reel it back in a minute. So Matthew, what, did you talk about your cards yet? What did you get?
Yeah, I talked about the Knight of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, and then that also just spiraled. All the knights are coming out to play, which again, Mercury is that messenger planet. It really is the ruler of communication, transportation, and technology, and it is very much a prankster. So when your power goes out, when the whole transit system in your city crashes, it's kind of like Mercury laughing in the background, and then things resume. But it's really a chance for you to slow down, which is what retrogrades are. It's when a planet slows down, giving an optical illusion of it moving backwards relative to the other planets and Earth, which is still in its regular transit. So how can you slow down, given that Mercury is going retrograde in the sign of Cancer, which has to do with emotions, which is a beautiful connection to the Three of Cups energy? How can you slow down within yourself, within your relationships, and within our world to really critically assess what is working and what is not working, and using all this eclipse energy to clear out all the old shit that no longer serves its purpose and to bring in new love, energy, and relationships, especially since it's in the sign of Cancer and it's going to be going through its retrograde throughout Cancer season.
Yeah, absolutely, right? It's like just kind of taking it slow, being gentle, and being aware of the process. Like, what, instead of like trying to get 10 steps ahead, can you just be aware of what it is you're moving through right now and just deal with the frustration that shows up? Instead of like being frustrated about it, just be like, sneaky Mercury retrograde, look at how you're showing up in my life to cause chaos. Like, laugh at it instead, because like these energies are going to happen anyways. And like, if you think like one day you're going to wake up to a perfect life where like everything is smooth going, like what duality are you living in that there's no opposite side happening? Because like that doesn't exist. Like, we're always going to have these types of setbacks and these types of frustrations. And
yeah, I mean, that's what we literally come here to learn. Is duality. So like, there's no escaping it down here. And I feel like with Matthew talking about how the planets, there's that optical illusion of it slowing down, or sorry, of it going in reverse, but it's actually slowing down. Like, think of those planets as like cars sort of driving through, the open desert sort of thing on like flat ground. And like, if that car was to all of a sudden brake immediately, the dust cloud that comes forward and covers the entirety of the car is like, whoa, you wouldn't be able to see anything for a second. But what you would be able to see is everything you've just been driving through that got pulled up with you, right? So it's this energy of like, witness the cloud, observe the cloud, don't get overwhelmed by it. Just pull yourself in. You're still in your car. You're still protected. Like, your guides are still here. We're just showing you certain things. And then if you wait like, 5 or 6 minutes, or to us, 5 or 6 weeks, like the cloud settles and all of that dust is now beside you. And you can be like, oh shit, this really doesn't work, but that part's good. I'll turn the car a little bit this way. And then you start driving again. And it's like this easy time to be like overwhelmed. And then to, like the Knight of Swords, be like, let's just keep going. Like, don't just keep going. And I notice a lot of my old challenges or cycles, or, like I'm trying to eat less meat and be more sober. And like, I still want to hold space for, a glass of champagne. But like for Mercury retrograde, you'll find that I'll probably get a lot of questions. Hey, do you want to grab a glass of wine? And it's like, do I? No, I don't want to indulge in that 3 of Cups energy. I want to indulge in the Knight of Pentacles and just like slow down and evaluate before I easily fall back into those same traps, right? Like Mercury as that trickster kind of is like, do you want to do this again? Because this is so fun and easy. It's like, no, bitch, I'm trying to level up. Like, leave me alone. And then when you come out of it, you feel great because you're like, oh my God, I passed so many tests. I didn't text my ex. I'm personally doing like a whole sober month. So it's like, I'll feel great in July. You know what I mean? So yeah. Do you guys have Mercury retrograde goals or advice for setting goals? Or like, what do you feel in this retrograde?
Yeah, it always comes to like what you were working on last Mercury retrograde, which was the end of February during Pisces season. That will often mirror what you're going to be experiencing a little bit. So if you were dealing with relationships, health, money, all of those things will come back again, kind of like that 2 of Pentacles energy. It's like, oh, now I'm balancing on this end. Now it comes back over here. So if you were dealing with having fun, having a lot of sex, and now you're like, no, I want to focus on self-love, those messages will still come in because you had planted those seeds before. So then Mercury is like, oh, hey, 3 of Cups energy. It's like, this will be really fun. Do you want to partake? And you're like, it will be very tempting. I think sometimes it's like, oh, don't worry. It'll just be like a little invite. You can say no. It's going to be triggering something that's very desirable that you have been trying to work on for a while. And that's like where the pass fail aspect of the test comes through. And so are you willing to not freak out if money isn't there right away, if you're investing a whole bunch into your business and clients aren't coming in? Are you okay if your ex is looking super hot and has like a 6-pack and you're like, I really want to indulge in that? Or are you going to continually doing the work? That's where maybe I'm just projecting my own things right now, but you have to just really stand firm in your resolve, especially during Mercury retrograde periods, to make sure that you have leveled up and if not coming back to old patterns.
So what I hear you saying as a psychotherapist is, what is your and this is going to be in quotes for everyone to hear, your distress tolerance. Let me repeat this. What is your distress tolerance? How can you handle being in distress? And there's like fantastic acronyms, which I'm going to put on my Instagram. So if you need to learn about distress during this time, I will be uploading some acronyms to handle this. But it's literally being able to be within that Two of Pentacles imbalance and still feel okay. And that comes with boundaries. What are your boundaries, and are you comfortable fulfilling those boundaries? Like, I set this as my my hard line in the sand, and if someone else crosses it, I need to have the courage to say you're crossing that boundary, and then also don't cross it myself. Like, if that line is there, then you need to respect, you have to have enough self-respect not to cross that boundary. And if in times of distress, you are crossing boundaries that you've set for yourself, then you're falling into Mercury retrograde's trap of trying to throw you off course. It's like, can you just be with your goals, keep your eye on what it is that you want, and evaluate each day. And that's the thing with like setting goals, is that you have a big goal that you set, right? That's the overlying goal. Every day you do little things towards that goal. So if you want to have perfectly white teeth, every day you brush your teeth. That's the goal. And then later down the road, maybe you add in some white strips or whatever. But you get my point, is that you have to like do little things each day for the overall goal to then flourish. And Mercury retrograde is going to try to fuck that up. And you need to be able to handle the distress that it puts you in, and also have good boundaries with yourself already established.
Yeah, I've pulled out the Two of Coins just to look at the card, and it's depicted by like a juggling man with, you know, 2 coins, and he's kind of trying to balance them both. And in the background, there's a lot of water going up and down, and it's kind of like a stormy sea, which represents, you know, the internal emotional distress that we're going through and juggling our investment of time and energy. And it's a good time to recognize, like myself, when you take on too many projects, or you've got too many fucking hats on, or you're like doing too much that you're, you know, not fully grounded in the body, or you need to take time to invest in yourself more than investing into myself is very different from investing into my productive self. Like, myself is like, Chris needs to sit on the beach and sit in the water for 3 hours and not do a cell phone. But like, my productive self is like, I need to have 100 conversations today to get the ball rolling. So it's like, this card is depicting a lot. But what's interesting is the man, regardless of all the chaos, is still standing on leveled ground. He's still standing on concrete. So it's like, he could just say, whoa, man, let me plant both of my feet firmly. Let me stop reacting to the storm that is around me or inside of me, or all these emotions. And again, like that Page of Pentacles reverse, just don't do anything. If you're in doubt, just don't do anything. Just like wait it out, man. Because like this 6 of Cups reverse energy is going to have us questioning the past, thinking about the past, wanting to move forward. And mine was partnered with the 6 of Swords energy, which is the boat is upside down. You're still like portaging the boat. You haven't even dropped it in the water and moved forward yet. So it's like, your boat is on your head, bro. Like, don't try to dive into the water just yet. You don't know where you're landing. And the Knight of Swords that Matthew pulled is like, you're going to think you're landing on solid ground by like calling that person, or signing that deal, or grabbing that drink, or looking at that 6-pack, or whatever Elizabeth's thing is. But it's just like, no, in 3 weeks from now, or I guess it's probably going to be 5 weeks from now, but in the future, you're going to be like, oh my God, it wasn't worth it. What did I do? And then you sit with regret and shame. And those are extremely low vibrations, which attracts more of it. And then we get desperate and we go into survival mode, and it just spirals. So like, back up, ground yourself. We're juggling a lot right now as a collective, as individuals. And we all are going through like crazy retrograde, you know, revisioning, replanning, restructuring so many aspects of our life. I don't think that Mercury is going to make this easy for us. But I think that, again, we have so much access to free resources, people who can help you, you know, get things done that we can't do ourselves. So like, reach out, ground yourself. I just feel like, wow, it's a lot going on.
Yeah. Like, and I think like feeding off of what you just said, like reaching out, being around people that can help you, because that's where my biggest, like, if I wanted to like share a personal thing that Mercury does to me when it's in retrograde, is sometimes I feel like I'm on the wrong channel. Like I'm picking up 2 different radio stations and I just can't hear the messages correctly. And I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm hearing the song that I want to listen to, but I can't figure out what station it's on. And you're like flipping between, this is, I guess, real old school for those of us in the analog days that had the tuning, you know, but that's what it feels like, is that I'm like, I'm hearing it, but I'm just not tuning in. And it's like, where can you just hunker down, you know, try to listen to the static a little bit? And what does it mean to even like be out of frequency for just a little bit? Like, what does it tell you about yourself when you feel that way? That's a psychotherapy question. How does it reflect about you when you are in these types of scenarios? Like, what does it say about the things that you need and want when you are going towards, you know, that man with a 6-pack or a woman with a 6-pack abs that you want to have a little tasty scenario with, or, you know, whatever Chris's example was, because now we're all just stuck on the abs. So good one, Matt.
You're welcome.
Like, ain't nobody angry about a 6-pack. Like, I'm not even one of those people who's like overly obsessed with them, but like, I think we've all been there. And I find that, just to get to your radio station thing, it's like, if you were going to download a song based on just your sample that you're picking up, like if you're going to sample 1,000 different songs during Mercury retrograde and you're not in a place where you can like properly hear each track because the static, it's like everything is just unclear. So why would you want to say, oh, that's the one that I want, when you can't hear it properly? You don't know if you've heard the song before. It's kind of familiar. It might be something new. You might actually hate it. It's like, and with the Venus retrograde taking place, like, should we be making major decisions like this about, oh my God, appearance, about relationships? Again, if you're in an unsafe experience, always leave. And if your intuition is like telling you you got to go, then believe that. But like, identify and maybe work with Elizabeth to identify what is triggered trauma, what is ego, what is inner child, what is future self, what is higher self. Like, these are all huge things that you guys will probably have to pause the podcast and go Google right now. But like, there's just a lot of layers to it. So I guess, Matthew, to bring it back to you, like, what can we expect, I guess, from the rest of the planets that are sort of influencing this, and how can we help people out?
Totally, yeah. So just to recap for everyone, currently Pluto, Venus, Saturn, and Jupiter are in retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde on June 18th, and it'll stay there until July 12th. We're going to have the new moon annual solar eclipse in Cancer on June 21st, and then Neptune goes retrograde on June 23rd. Saving grace is that Venus will go direct on the 25th. So naturally, and I've been telling all my clients this, posting about it, between June 18th and June 25th, that's just going to be a lot of energy for everyone, but I do think we'll see some like radical shifts across the board, individually and as a collective. So again, I feel like the Two of Pentacles is just speaking to all of us, but you can just see as well, it's like, yeah, there might be a storm in the background, but if you can stay on this solid ground, you can still be juggling the resources that you have and still be okay. Like, the Two of Pentacles are surrounded by that infinity sign, right? It's like you have all the tools you need to be successful so long as you get ground. It doesn't matter if all the planets are in retrograde and we have 8 eclipses. You know what I mean? Just like being ridiculous. But if you can stay grounded, wake up, move your body, be grateful, do some breath work, yoga, meditation, you're able to stay grounded amongst the intense energy that we're going through. And by getting grounded and checking in with your body if you need to throughout the day, especially people interacting in the health field as energy workers or just in the public, you're going to be able to navigate and hold those pentacles even though there might be a storm going on behind you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
we're
that makes
experiencing
sense
some
to me.
Mercury freezing. Sorry, guys. On my end,
Oh my God.
this is Mercury.
Totally.
Mine is doing that too. I was like, what is happening? I'm trying to, I can't even speak properly right now. Oh my God. We're just like actually tuning into Mercurial retrograde energies because we're filming this like 10 days before type thing. And it's still, we're getting hit. Yes, what you said makes sense.
It does.
And I'm trying to think.
Well, going off of that, like, you know, you were saying yoga, breath work, grounding, making time for that, like not bypassing the emotions. Like, first of all, acknowledge your emotions and then do something to ground down, whether it's like dancing, Zumba, yoga, breath work, or even just like sitting in front of your TV. Like, I don't care what you do, but as long as you're not bypassing, first of all, the emotion that comes up with it. And then the meditation card I got is, may you know purpose. So that's what you need to meditate on during retrograde season, is your purpose. Why are you here? What are you doing? What is your soul's contract? Like, what are you moving through? What is the purpose of your life? What is the purpose of all of this? Like, can you answer these questions? And then the seeds of affirmation is, for today, I can't read this backwards. For today, I know there is magic in my life. For today, I know there is magic in my life. And I love that. Like, isn't that so sweet?
It is cute.
Sweet. Yeah, I love that. And the purpose thing too, it's like, what is my purpose? Like, that's confusing in a retrograde at times, but knowing that we have that magic around us to ask the question, and we will likely receive the answer immediately, if not soon after. And I can tell you, your purpose is not to call your ex-boyfriend and try to like fix a relationship or sign a multi-million-dollar deal that just is too good to be true, girl. It is too good to be true. And your man didn't change that quickly, and Venus in retrograde is fucking you up. It's just like the grass ain't greener. It's greener where you water it. So like, let's just all breathe and slow down. Like, our sandstorm is around us. Our purpose is somewhat lost, but like, if you don't know what your purpose is, at least identify what your purpose isn't, you know? And it's like, that is just as strong. And sorry, I say something and your video reactions are like 5 seconds later because this retrograde. Okay, I think we're close to the timing now. So yeah, what your purpose is not is helpful.
Exactly. Okay, guys. So take it slow, be gentle, find ways to be with yourself, and to like, honestly, when you're receiving a message, is this anxiety or is this intuition? Is it telling me to be fearful of something? Then I know it's anxiety. Intuition will never give you fear. So, you know, and just be patient with the things that trigger you. I think that's that's the messages that we got going through this. I don't know. What about you, Matthew? Anything you want to sew in?
Yeah, I think that was like really key, what you just said. Intuition will never give you fear. And I always like to say, if it's easy, then it's right. Like, you shouldn't have to force a relationship with someone. You shouldn't have to like force your way into something. Of course, there's work involved. When it just feels correct and aligned, you'll know it. It'll be very, very clear. And the same thing every day, like what Chris mentioned earlier, sometimes it's just laying on that beach by yourself, disconnecting from your phone. That's literally what you're meant to do that day to help energize you and bring back the balance. So sometimes the coin's going to be on one hand, sometimes it's going to be on the other. Sometimes you need to go to work, sometimes you're going to rest. And like, that'll be very clear when your computer crashes and you lost all your data. You're like, I'm just going to close the computer, I'm going to go for a walk, and I'm going to deal with this instead of freaking out and like slamming doors. That's not going to help me right now. I learned my lesson that I need to back up my shit. Lesson learned, and I'll come deal with this when I get back.
Absolutely. I think we're probably at a good space to let this conversation go. We are going to continue, if you choose to join us for a second cup of tea, on the Patreon, where Matthew, just because we want to save some time, we're not going to go through every sign, but we're going to look at how this Mercury retrograde is going to affect each element, because the elements will always experience similarities. So we will see you on the Patreon. Matthew, do you want to wrap up any last things there, or are we good to go?
Yep, I think everyone, knowing that retrogrades are normal. A portion of you listening were born when Mercury was in retrograde anyway, so it's nothing to fear. It's just knowing that when certain things happen, you can become aware and you can observe it differently so that you know, oh, this is just a little Mercury prank. I'm going to laugh with it and not be laughed at. I think that's like a very key description. And like you all said, we will wrap this up. And if you want to join us for a second cup of tea, join us on Patreon, www.patreon.com/EMC3chat.
Thanks, Podcast Universe. If you enjoy this show, please consider saying thank you by leaving us a 5-star review so other souls like you can help find us. We also offer bonus episodes for each discussion and discounts for all of our services on our Patreon. Link in our bio. See you next time.